Welcome back. We're working on the bug today and we will be putting together this. Okay, the box got a quick scrubbing. I want to pull off the coupler. I've got to break off the rest of these rivets. To unbolt the steering box, you need to knock back these little metal tabs, retaining tabs, one on each bolt. The retaining tabs on the original beam is like a round stud and that little welded on plate. So the replacement has just two round studs and these other little tabs sticking out right over here. The box fits on nicely. I test fit it. The bump stops are already adjusted on this, and the measurements from mine are a lot shorter on both ends, so I'm gonna screw these in a little bit more. That one looks like it won't even screw anymore. I'll take a few measurements of the old one and set them up the same. I pulled my original steering stop bolt out that goes on the inside. The one on this beam is way too long. That's where it's supposed to be at. It's got a good 6 millimeters more. So I'm going to change that out before the box goes back in. Everything got chipped through the parts washer. Now the box cleaned up nicely. It's still wearing its original black paint. Doesn't even look like it was ever adjusted because there's no marks on any of the nuts here. There's a decent amount of play. I think it'll be fine. I'm not going to touch it. I gave up with trying to pull off this coupler. It just does not want to budge, so I have to cut off that rivet and knock out the remains of this one. And while the box is out, I'm going to pull the plugs out and see if there's any lube left in this thing. And the rubber little plug here is just starting to deteriorate. I don't know if they're going to be salvageable. All right, we're locked in the vise here. We're going to give it a few whacks. See if it comes out. The other end, fortunately, did slide right out. I've been spraying penetrating oil in there with that line pointing up. So it filled this whole area up and it slid off no problem. Now I need to cut these rivets out also, but I want to save the wire that grounds the horn. I want to use the original one. This one's kind of squeezed in between this washer and another little plate there, so I have to carefully kind of not going to separate them without damaging the wire. All that for a piece of wire. But look, it's smiling. Okay, let's take these little plugs out of the box and see if anything is in there. And if they're going to come out. They are just turning to mush. Oh, you want to fall in. I don't want you to fall in. Try getting the top one now. Yeah, they are just falling apart. Oh, fell in. Bastard. Both of the plugs fell in. Now I want to open up the top of the box to fish them out, and then we'll get a look at the grease that's inside. There's one. It's actually plastic, not rubber, but it's just all gummy. See how it falls apart? Where's the other one? Stuck right here, is it? Yes. Stuck on the cap. That bolt is held in with a little snap ring on the inside. So when you're making an adjustment on the box, you're really just pushing this in or out more against that. And as you saw before, the inside is threaded. So the gasket actually looks really good too. I'm just going to put a little bit of sealant on here, clean it up, put it back together, and maybe add a little more grease. I need to find something to plug these holes. I could tap them and put Allen key plugs in, or so. Let me look around what I have lying around the shop. I got some Allen screw plug threaded. They're 1/8 inch pipe tap threads, so I'm going to tap them out. The hole is basically the perfect size for what it needs to be for this tap. I don't even have to drill it out any bigger. That worked out real well, didn't cost anything, and these will never fall inside. The gasket's still in good shape. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of silicone along the top, and there is quite a bit of grease still in here, but we're going to add to it. I need putting in some Delvac, a recommendation of a friend. It's got the right consistency. I put it in a bag. I'm going to put it in like we're decorating a cake. Mmm, delicious. Just a little bit. All right, I'm going to play with the adjustment a little bit, and then we'll be done. That feels pretty good right there. I'm gonna leave it at that. When it goes back in the car, we could adjust it some more. So now we're ready to bolt this thing back on to the beam. Original paint markings are still on there. We're ready to put the box back on. If you look, the bracket on the box is marked 13 and 14, and these spots are offset just a slight bit. And if you look at the tabs on the beam, they are also offset just a little bit. So 14 is going to be pointing up. That's the way it came off the old one. Put it in the spot right there. Let's see how it fits. Going up. Torque on these is 18 to 22 pounds. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. This will be going back in next time, and I'm going to show you how to lube tie rod ends that are supposed to be lubed for life.